Good afternoon, faithful. We have a major injury update to kind of go over. Kyle Shanahan met with the media today. Players returned to practice today, and he kind of went over all the big issues going on with the team after the bye. The biggest injury update is Arik Armstead, 49er defensive tackle, who's been out for several weeks. We know NBC Bay Area Sports' Jennifer Lee Chan reported the other day that he has a hairline fracture of his left foot on top of the plantar fasciitis on his right foot. Kyle Shanahan confirmed this today, saying that he has a hairline fracture of the left fibula on top of the right foot plantar fasciitis. Now, this injury he's been dealing with since the start of the season, week one, which was reported by Jennifer Lee Chan. On top of that, it's an injury that takes about 4 to 6 weeks to fully heal. But again, he's a bigger guy, and anytime you put that much stress or a lot of pressure on that foot, it can cause it to get worse. The surrounding soft tissue can get worse, or you can aggravate it, or cause the injury to get bigger or whatnot. So they have to be very careful and close guarded with this injury. So again, Arik Armstead, there's no exact timetable. He did tell Jennifer Lee Chan that he is close to return. I mean, if you think about the time frame, an 8-week injury, he was injured in week one. It should be close, but again, they're not 100% sure because you have to have pain-free weight bearing in order to get back to playing with this injury. So a hairline fracture on the left fibula on top of the plantar fasciitis of the right foot. There were a couple other updates today. A pretty big one, actually, that was a new developing story. Samson Ebukam, he didn't practice today, or he won't practice today. He has the Achilles issue that he's been dealing with. But on top of that, he has a quad injury that he just developed on Monday. They had a bonus practice, and he got a bonus injury. You got to love it, right? Only the 49ers. So Samson Ebukam has a quad injury plus Achilles soreness. That's something he's been dealing with for a while. The quad injury is new. We're going to have to keep an eye on this situation. Quad injuries can be very, chronic, and they can be they're very, irritating and nagging. So something we have to keep an eye on is Samson Ebukam and his new quad injury. Some good news, though. Linebacker Dre Greenlaw did return to practice, who's been dealing with the calf injury. Limited in practice, but he's back. He missed last week. He had the calf issue. So he's slowly coming back to form. Jason Verrett was practicing today, a very limited fashion, according to Kyle Shanahan. But he says last week he was getting closer. He just wasn't 100% there. They don't want to rush him, so they're being very careful with Jason Verrett. But he did practice today, limited fashion. They're trying to ramp him up slowly. So Greenlaw and Jason Verrett limited today. Some really good news on the injury forefront, rather than the bad news we led off with, is Deebo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, Kyle Juszczyk, Colton McKivitz, Elijah Mitchell, and Azeez Al-Shahir were all practicing today in full form. So they had no limitations. Again, Deebo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, Colton McKivitz, Kyle Juszczyk, Elijah Mitchell, and Azeez Al-Shahir were all practicing today in full capacity. There's no limitations. That is really good news because it seems like they're getting most of their players back for the second half of the season. Some other good news today, pass rusher Jordan Willis, who had a cleanup procedure way back in the beginning of the season on his knee. He had cleanup on his knee. He went on the injured reserve. He had his practice window open today. So he is slowly coming back, and he should be back several weeks with the practice window being open today. So he had a knee procedure where they did a little cleanup. He went on an injured reserve, and today he had his practice window open, according to Matt Miyoko. So let's recap real quick. Arik Armstead has been out since October 3rd, and he is dealing with a hairline fracture of his left fibula on top of plantar fasciitis of his right foot. No exact timetable, but he should be close, according to Armstead and what we're hearing out there. Now, the other injury is Samson Ebukam, a quad injury he suffered on Monday on top of the Achilles issue he's been dealing with. No exact timetable. He did not practice. Dre Greenlaw came back to practice today, limited with the calf injury. Jason Verrett, who's returning from the knee ACL tear last year, was limited, but he's starting to kind of get back in form, according to Kyle Shanahan. And then the big update, Kyle Shanahan noted Deebo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, Colton McKivitz, Kyle Juszczyk, Azeez Al-Shahir, and Elijah Mitchell were full go in practice. And Jordan Willis, pass rusher, had his practice window open today. Those are the big updates. We're going to talk all about this a little later. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And let's hope this team continues to get healthy. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Bang, bang. Not again.